Imagine a big race where the cars are lined up ready to run the race, and the audience are set to see the fastest car. I said the fastest car because at the point where when the race is going on, that's exactly what the audience are focused on. Even though at the end of the race, what matters is the winner of the race. But among these cars, there's one particular red car. Just imagine it in your mind. That is not just fast, but has an understanding of the path. This is very important because I liken it to selling. Selling is just like that race. Most times, salespeople or business people are more interested or they are more conscious of their speed, the distance between starting the sales process and closing the deal. But only few have an understanding of the process it takes, of the journey between the sales process, starting the sales process, and opening a relationship. So let me go back to my story. As the race started, the car zoomed off and they started running. But like I said, this red car was very conscious of the path, especially when you drive in Nigeria. There are bumps, you have to slow down. The car knows exactly when to slow down and when to increase the speed. And at the end of the race, the red car became the winner, despite not being the fastest. But because of the understanding of the path, the red car was still able to win. And it was not about the red car, it was about the driver. But initially, people came to see the fastest car. But the point there is that the driver has an understanding of the path. So this is the same thing to selling. Selling is not just about closing the deal. It's not about getting money out of your client. For me, I see selling as two major things that will give you head in selling. From my own experience, is number one, the questions you ask and how well you can listen. Because the most beautiful thing about selling is that your customers are going to give you what you need to close the deal. Every time you are stuck at selling or you are stuck in a deal is because you are not listening well to your customer, because they know exactly what they want. And I can understand some of you are saying, what if they don't know what they want? It's very true. There are some instances where your client does not exactly know what he or she wants. So what is your power at that time? Your power is your question. It's not really about what you know in sales. It's about how you can help your client to understand what they want. Then you can now provide the solution that is best fit for them. Chris Do says something. He said customers do not buy the best option. They buy the best understood option. Now think about it as a client. How do you even know the best option? You only know the best option because you understood the option. So you feel it's best for you. And how do you help your client to understand the option? Is first by asking questions. Take for instance, a client came to you and said, I want so property in so area. The next thing is not to tell the client the price, because it is not always about the price. I understand that the price is very important, but it is not always about the price. It's about what is important to them. Many times we want to sell the benefit of our product, we want to sell the features of our product. It's important, but that's not what is important to the client. As a matter of fact, when you list out the benefit and the features, they do not understand. So what will they understand? What they will understand is what your product can do for them, how your product can make their life better, how they can see. You have to bring in the future or the result of the product into the present, or paint it for them so that they can imagine it and understand it. So I'll go back to where I started from. Selling is like a race. It is not about how fast you can get to close the deal. It is how well you understand the path of sales. And two things I've said already: questions and listening are your two powers. So a salesman do not pride himself so much on understanding the product. Do you have to understand the product very well? You have to. But there are other things that are much more important than the product. And the two things I'm going to be mentioning this morning are your questions and your listening. Every client wants to be understood before making the decision to buy. And The way you have to get your client to a point where they feel you are not hiding anything from them.